Welcome to Video Clothing YouTube channel. So in this video we'll be drafting this corset. It's still a mix of dar-tless corset and also just my unique method of doing this. So follow me, let's do this together. So we'll be ruling all the guidelines. And this length here, I'm ruling the full length of the blouse. So this is our center front line. So to get the center back line, I'll be using half of the hip measurement. So our hip is 40 inches. So this is the center back line. So from the center front to the center back, we are having half of the hip measurement. So we'll go ahead and divide this into 2. So that will be 10 inches. So this is the side. This will be the starting point, our shoulder line. Next, I'm going to mark the chest line. Her chest line is 6.5. So next is her bust line, shoulder to bust measurement. So I have her under bust as 13.5. So this is 13.5, the under bust measurement. So I'm going to mark that only at the front side of the pattern. So to get the bust line, I'll be marking from the chest to the under bust, and I'll be getting the midpoint. So the midpoint of this measurement is 3.5. So this is the bust line. So front half length is 17 inches. And the back half length is 16 inches. So for the shoulder to bust measurement, I also want to mark that at the back. So we'll have the shoulder line, we'll have the chest line. This will guide us in getting the armhole measurement. We'll have the bust line, you have the under bust line, You have the back half length. You have the front half length. And of course, you have the top length. 23.5. Though we are marking this at the back, they won't be using it for the back corset, but let's get the measurements all the way. Hemline. So don't forget we marked the measurement you have here is half of the hip measurement. So we are going to mark the actual bust measurement. And we are working with 37 inches. So that will be 9.25. So you are going to connect it straight down to the hemline. Can take it a little bit. Okay. At this point, I'm not adding an armhole ease. I just took the bust measurement straight up. But in most cases, you might need to add the armhole ease. So this will be already out. Next, I'll go ahead and mark the shoulder measurement. The actual shoulder measurement. The shoulder measurement is 15 inches. That's 7.5. So I'll mark that on the shoulder line, on the chest line. And I will extend it 1 inch below the chest line to serve as a guide for my armhole measurement. I'll only change this if I find out that it's not giving me the armhole measurement circumference. Then I might want to extend it a little bit. So this is your guideline. So I'm going to slant this by 0.75. And in slanting, you need to be careful so you don't get to slant. This is wrong. Let me show you wrong way up to slant. You don't slant this way. This is wrong because at this point you've already reduced your shoulder measurement. Can you see? The shoulder to chest measurement and every other length you have here will be affected. So you need to indicate at the point where that measurement was taken, which is close to your knee to knee measurement. So that is why when you slant, you don't slant straight to the center front line. You cross it on the shoulder line, targeting where you took that measurement from. So this is the shoulder slant. So you can go ahead and mark the armhole with the armhole curve. If you have this, you can quickly use this. So next thing here, I'm going to repeat the same for the back. Shoulder is 7.5, 15 inches, that's half of it. Take it straight down to my chest line and 1 inch below the chest line. So I'm going to slant as well. For the back, you can see the way I'm placing the armhole curve. A little bit different from what I did at the front. So when you have this, you want to confirm the armhole measurement. So you trace your measuring tape gradually. inches. You want to confirm that it matches the armhole measurement taken. So her armhole is 16 inches and I'm having 16.5. So I will be working with this. I would not want to change anything. So our armhole is sorted for the front and for the back pattern. So next is the nip to nip line. So I'm having 4 inches. So this is a guideline as well. So once I've gotten this, I'm going to mark the bust arc. So you measure from the under to the bust, from the bust point to the under bust. So that's what you will take round this area to get your bust arc. I'm having 3.5. So this is your bust arc. Next here, we are going to mark the actual under bust measurement. The actual under bust measurement is 30 inches. So this is 30. So you check what you have here. So I'm having 2 inches. So I'm going to mark 1 inch on this side and 1 inch on this other side. So this is actually what will make your bust. If you want it copier, if you want it a little bit flat. So this is where you effect the change. So a little bit below the bust point, this is your bust point. So you are going to connect this to this and also connect this to this. Next, you want to also mark your shoulder dart. Now I'm going to draw the neckline. So this is Queen Anne's neckline. So I'm going to have this here. 3 inches. I think I want to mark the secure the cup. So if you check where you're having this, is a little bit close to the bust line. So be working with this. So I'm going to pick here. This is 1/2 inch for the bridge. So connect this. I should have a different ink color. So all the way. So let's take it all the way down. This area. Okay. So I want to make use of two different ink so that you don't get confused. So all the way. All the way. You have your bust. So this for this, and this is for the neck width. So you determine your neck width for this side. So here we have 3 inches. So here we want it to be 5 inches. I'm gonna connect these to this. That. So of course you have your shoulder, and you have the armhole, which we've already marked. Bit by bit. All right, so the essence of using this shoulder dart was just to like be able to shape the cup area. So because we are is a yoke design, and it's you get like you don't need to like replace this after the shoulder. So you just go ahead and make use of your armhole measurements, the shoulder slant, and all of this. So ignoring the dart intake at the shoulder line. So you have this. So this is what we have here. It's bit by bit. Most times you might not be able to. Because you have this. Okay, so we pay attention to the neck width here. So I'm having here, I've reduced it to 2.75. Of course we can still maintain our 3 inches. So I'm going to have that at the back. So determine the style line. I want it to have the button, and I want to style all the way. So let me take this all the way down from the. So this is what I have for the back. Then I want to style this. I'll give it a bit of curve. So this is for the back, the shoulder, and the armhole. So we have the armhole secured, the yoke secured for the front and the back. So next thing I want to do here is to take out, this is the back half length, of which is different from the front half length. So I'm going to take out 1 inch for my modesty panel. Of course it can be more. So take note of this. So this will be for modesty panel. So I need to also consider my space for boning. So I want to work with 1.5. That's the eyelet, boning for the eyelets. So you have the two pillars and then you have your eyelets on this line. So at this point, I'm going to mark my actual waist measurement for snatching. So like I said, her waist is a I'm going to mark her actual waist measurement for snatching. We are snatching by 28 inches. So that's what I'll be marking here. Of course, this is our hip measurement, so you're going to connect this to this. So because of this sharp edge, you are going to blend it in. Of course, you can have boning here, boning channel. This is modesty panel eyelet, then a boning line. Of course, aside this one here, you can have this all the way. This for the back. So this for this person, her front half length is 17, while the back half length is 16. So we'll be having 17 minus 16. That's a 1 inch. So I will still impute my that. Of course, I'm not getting to the bust point. It's a little bit. Next thing I'm going to do is to take out this 1 inch. I'm going to mark it all the way straight down to the hemline. So before shaping the waist line for the front bodies, I'm going to cut out the curve and the yoke. Let's put these aside. So you have the yoke. So I'll rather cut them together. So I'll be sellotaping this with my masking tape. No overlap and no space. So this is the back and this is the front. So we put these aside. This for the yoke. We'll still come back to this. So this is for the back. Let's keep this aside first. So for the front, we need to make one or two adjustments on the pattern. I'm going to join extra pepper. One more. So next, I'm going to close up this 2 inches, which we got from trying to cut out our cup area. So I'm going to close it up. Don't forget, this is my way of adapting the dar-tless corset into the ones we've been drafting so far. And this is drafting with the person's measurements. I didn't really want to draft the cup separately from her measurements. I just want exactly her actual bust measurement. So I've closed this up. So I can go ahead and mark the waist measurement, which is 28. And her hip measurement, which is 40. Don't forget, this is center front line, so it's not part of the pattern. Let's cut it out.